What's up, y'all? This is X Conscious back with another hit maker, another video about Future Pack Chapter 3. And I think I've just stumbled upon some real information on who the new DLC characters will be. Now, there's already a speculation about Frieza being either in his regular golden form, his regular super villain form. Frieza's ultra villain form will obviously be in his DLC, and I think that's going to hint into Black Frieza. And we already know that Akari Broly form is going to be playable in this next DLC because we already got the V-scan jumps from Shonen. But the question remains, who are the other DLC characters? Now, Chilai has yet to be revealed to actually be playable, but she is going to be in the new, I guess, dating simulator. Like, I don't know who wanted that, but this is, I don't know where they get their, sources on what to do with this game, on what the fans want. I don't know, but that's what they're going to put in. But she may also be playable. But trailer is yet to be seen, but that's until further notice. It's just really Frieza and Broly. Now, what I have uncovered is real reliable info on who the next DLC character will be, or characters will be, and I'm going based on the DLCs in order. Which DLCs, what theme were the DLCs, and that will let you know who is coming. Okay, so we all have to remember that this timeline is very important to why they drop the DLCs that they drop. Okay, now if we all remember, Dragon Ball Super aired in Japan 2015, actually July 5th, and Xenoverse dropped around October 25th of 2016. So they had a 2-year head start. And with the first DLC they dropped, it was the Xenoverse Super Pack 1. Actually, full name was Dragon Ball Super Pack 1. Now, they had almost 2 years to drop this DLC. And in this DLC, it was Frost and it was Cabba as 2 playable characters. Also in that, they had the hit mentor that came with it. So, Super Pack 2 was Vados, and she came along with Champa. Now, they both come from Super, so that's the second Super Pack. Makes sense. You see the theme? They're following a theme here. Dragon Ball Super Pack 3 had Goku Black, Rose, Zamasu, and Bojack. Now, what does Bojack have to do with Dragon Ball Super Pack 3? It says Dragon Ball Super Pack 3, Dragon Ball Super. Bojack isn't part of Dragon Ball Super, yet he's here with Goku Black and Rose and Zamasu. They just put him in this pack and he has no relevance. That's just the first hint that tells you how they make these DLCs, because the other ones were just 2 characters. Now this one is 3 characters, 2 Dragon Ball Super and 1 Z character. So okay, so now we see a different in characters in the pattern. Now let's go to the next Dragon Ball Super Pack, which was Dragon Ball Super Pack 2, which is again 2 characters again, and that was Vegito and Zamasu, Zamasu. All right, but then here's what the interesting part is in the next DLC, which was Extra DLC Pack 1. And this was the first pack where we got 4 characters. And it was actual all characters from Dragon Ball Z, which was Zobora, Boo, Gohan Exorb, Tapion, and Android 13. This was the first pack where they locked at least 4 characters, and none of them were Dragon Ball Super, they were all Z characters. This was the first clue to let you know, okay, now they're changing up what they're doing, because these characters were all being dropped during the episodes of Super that were being aired at that time, and they were catching up to the series actually. Okay, so now we see a different pattern here, and let's move to the next pack, which was Extra DLC Pack 2. In that pack, it was Ultra Instinct Goku, it was Jiren, and Android 17 from Dragon Ball Super. Now, the relevance of all 3 of these characters were that they were in the Power Tournament, and the only character that wasn't in that was Fu. He was the 4th character in that pack. Now, he has anything to do because he was kind of like the new villain. that they wanted for the game. So that's why he was in it. So he was put in. So that's kind of a good reason, because he was the reason why the series was still, the game actually still had a story going on in the game. So he's the reason why the story of Xenoverse 2 was continuing. So Fu makes sense to be in that one. All right. So now let's go to Extra Pack 3. Extra Pack 3 was Kefla and Super Baby 2. You see, they did it again. Super Baby 2. He has nothing to do with anything recent. It's like Kefla was released. This is during a time of Tournament of Power was airing in Japan. So that's why she's in it. But why is Super Baby 2 in it? You see what I'm saying? They just drop in random characters at this point from Z, at least one. Ultra Pack 1 was Super Saiyan God Vegeta, and it was Ribian, and it was Vegeta Evolved. All that was from Dragon Ball Power Tournament. But we also had Super Saiyan Vegito, Super Saiyan God, which wasn't even it's seen in the anime. So they just took him out of the manga and just put him into this game. So that was the first time they did anything like that, where it was nothing that had anything to do with the actual anime but the manga. So that tells you right there that they are willing to take out characters that are not in the anime, which is why my theory was Black Frieza. Okay. And then sometime around that summer, we had the Hero Vote DLC, Ultra Sign Goku, GT Vegeta, and Dispo. Like, that was a vote pack that we had. That was around the time we got the CC mascots. And I actually wanted Android 18 to win the vote for the fan vote, because I think we have a lot of male characters. I would like more female characters. There's not really too many female characters that we like. We got Pan, Vados, Khalifa, Berserker Kid. I think would be probably one of the funner characters if we had, but we haven't gotten any female characters that we actually play regularly and are actually fun to play. So I wanted Android 18 in, but she didn't get in. From that point on, it was a while till we really seen anything else. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really see anything else until we got the legendary packs, which I think was probably one of the best packs they had put out or released, which had the first legendary pack 1 was Pycon, Toppo, those two characters. That was like, the first time we actually got Toppo and it's God of Destruction power up form. The pattern here was just Dragon Ball, but they doing Tapion. Dragon Ball Super was Toppo, but they doing Tapion anyway. See the pattern here? And from all those on and on, we had to wait a good amount of time to see anything, and that was during the Dragon Ball Broly movie. And that took a while for us to see any kind of content. And in that, we got Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Gogeta Blue, and Broly, full power Super Saiyan. See, now they're going back to a theme with the extra DLC pack 4. So they could have put in a character from Z in this pack, but if for some reason they didn't do it. Not sure why they didn't do it, because they could have put in, a Z character. They could have put in, Tapion. Well, they already had him in already, but they could have put in King Cole just for example. But they didn't for some reason. And then the next legendary pack they threw out was, with Jiren, was a base Gogeta, Dragon Ball Super, Khalifa, Kale, and those were all Dragon Ball Super besides Gogeta Blue, which was from the movie. Now the pattern here, this is the weirdest one, because they was all Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power, but then they just do Dragon Ball Gogeta Blue in their base form. Like, they could have just threw him in as base and let us go and make him go Super Saiyan, but they didn't do that as well. So with that being said, we already know about the Hero Justice pack. That has really kind of relevance of that, because all of those were just pretty much the Dragon Ball Hero characters. So we already know what that's about. But based on all that, I believe that we're going to get Broly Akari, Chi-Lai, Frieza is either Ultra Villain or Black Ultra Villain. which is yet to be, we'll see in the near future. And I think the last one is going to be either Toppo or it's going to be Belmont's angel, Marcerita. That's Belmont's angel. Honestly, if you look at it, I honestly think it might be Toppo base form. I mean, the story's going forward. I think they need to have him in base because all the other Pride Troopers are in base form. Yeah, they have a lot of options that they can go. I honestly think it's going to be Toppo because, they want to complete the Pride Troopers. I think they make a lot of sense. And it just looked weird seeing, Toppo automatically in God of Destruction. A lot of the cutscenes, that were in the legendary packs, the Future Saga packs. The Future Saga packs, I think Toppo looked weird just being in his transformed state, while the other Pride Troopers, Jiren was in his Ultra Villain form. And you think about the Ultra Villain form gives them a reason to make more characters, something that the rest of these Dragon Ball games haven't done. Like, they haven't thought about supervillain, and that's pretty much going into the Dragon Ball Heroes thing without actually going into it. Yeah, so like with that being said, I honestly think they're gonna go with Toppo because Toppo kind of he's missing from the Pride Troopers, and all three of them have yet to be in any type of cutscenes or parallel quests. They have yet to be in any parallel quests with all three of them in their base forms. So I think Toppo is gonna be in this pack. Also, Marcerita could also be in this pack. I mean, she's the angel of Belmont. That makes a lot of sense. I'm tired of kind of talking about Black Frieza at this point. I mean, he doesn't have any moves, so it's like I don't really think the relevancy of him even matters at this point. I think it's gonna be Ultra form, which I don't understand why Golden Frieza Ultra form is even a thing. Like, he's not even a character that people use regularly, so I don't know why he's in it, but maybe they're running out of characters. Maybe I think they need to go to Dragon Ball Super a little bit more, and they need to probably get some more content for the CACs. That's where I would go if I was part of the team of Dimps. I would go into making more things for CACs, but maybe Xenoverse 3 will do everything like that. But let me know what y'all think in the comment sections. If you like this video, I need you to please hit the subscribe button. That lets me know that you guys appreciate the content, and I want to be able to drop more content. I want to be a part of this community, so I appreciate if you could like and most importantly subscribe. My goal right now is 100 subscribers. Only a few subscribers left to get to 100, so it only takes a second. Just hit the subscribe button. It takes 1 second, and I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna drop a lot of things for you guys, and I really would like you to ride this journey with me. So this is what we have right now. So we'll see what happens in the next coming days. Hopefully it's gonna be videos of the DLC characters, Chila if she's playable, and Frieza. So let me know what y'all think about this conversation. If you like this, hit the subscribe button for your boy so I can drop the latest news on Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 content. I'll see you all in the next video. Everyone stay blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.